is a presentation of the Jacked Up Fantasy Football League. Any rebroadcast or reproduction without the written consent of the league is strictly prohibited. The following program contains material that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Before I got high, come on, y'all. Check it out. I could have cheated and I could have passed, but I got high. Live. I'm taking it next semester, and I know why. Yeah, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
Welcome to the recap show of Week 7 of the Jacked Up Fantasy Football League.
Before I got high.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from West Palm Beach, Florida. Please welcome Mr. Michael Horowitz of the High Flyers.
Hey, Val.
Love that song. Welcome to the show, buddy. How's it going?
Yeah, not many people get what I really meant by my name. You're right. It's got nothing to do with flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, that whole logo, man, is very deceiving. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? Because, you know, I think a few times we actually played that Danger Zone, the Top Gun theme song, you know, 80s corny shit. So, you know, I wanted to let people know what the true reason where the high came in the High Flyers. So,
but after all the years of banking and fear of drug tests, it's kind of in my history, in my past. So, but thanks for reminding me.
Sure, no problem. Well, here's the way I look at it, Michael, before we get to your bio. You know, you can actually use that excuse now for all your stupid moves, the roster moves that you make. Like, here, let me do a Michael Horowitz High Flyer rendition of that song. It's like, I dropped Matt Schaub for Alex Smith because I got high. I benched RG3 for Christian Ponder because I got high. I make all these stupid moves all the time because I get high, because I get high. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have this, like, theme. You can, like, say, dude, I was high. So,
yeah.
You weren't high this week, man.
That's true, yeah.
Well, if you were high this week...
That's got to be the reason.
Hey, man, if you're high this week, you need to do that shit every time before Sunday when you make your roster moves. Do it all the time. So,
yeah, now I just say, don't worry, be happy. So
exactly.
We're cool.
But hey, man, welcome to the show. It's your first time being a guest on the show. I appreciate you giving me about 30 minutes of your time. Let's go through the bio for those of you that don't know the High Flyers. This is your 5th year in the league, Michael. Your best finish was 3rd place in 2009, and ironically, that was the only year you had a winning record. Your career record...
The only year we didn't pay anything for 3rd place, too, so it was my pleasure. Thank you.
It was fun contributing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The career record, you have 27 and 31, so your winning percentage is just under 500. Your favorite team are the Eagles, so you're from the Philadelphia area you mentioned?
Exactly. Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
Eagles green, Phillies red.
Nice. Well, actually, in the profile pic I got here for you, you'll see when the show gets broadcasted, you're wearing green. And you look high, too. So, your favorite beer is Bud Light Lime. I don't know, I mean, it's a little corny, but whatever. But then again, I drink Corona Light sometimes with the lime.
Yeah, you know, in my old age, I handle it well, so it's been good for me.
Okay. And your favorite drink is...
keep up with you young guys if I stick with that light stuff.
And trust me, I'm not that much younger than you. Favorite drink, Jack Daniels on the rocks. And
yeah, when I get away with it, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe this year, man, if you actually, you know, go on a little run and you get to the 3rd place game, you'll actually win some money. So then you can have a Jack Daniels on the rocks.
Oh, I can afford it. I'm just not allowed to have it. So
okay.
It's good.
And last but not least, your favorite hobbies: fantasy football, golf, you know, real estate investing on the side, of course. Anything else out there?
Yeah, just flying, actually.
Okay.
Private pilot. Don't get to do as much as I'd like, but it's definitely something that's on my mind all the time.
See, I don't think anyone in the league actually knew that you actually can fly. You're a pilot. You know. It's
yeah,
interesting.
an instrument. Grew up in the clouds.
Okay.
Again, a reference to the other thing we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Was Top Gun your favorite movie in the 80s or what, man?
No, actually not. I was a Clint Eastwood fan, Where Eagles Dare, and
it's a good movie.
Thing, so.
Richard Burton, yeah, good stuff, man. Well, let's get to the recap of the games. Let's start with TNT and the Cleveland Crushers. Not a very pretty game here, Michael. TNT wins because Cleveland Crushers forgot to show up this Sunday. Granted, they did have every single guy on their bench was on the bye week, so just like TCB last week, you only have a choice of 9 guys, and these 9 guys were not very good. It was just a bad week for the Cleveland Crushers, and I'm starting to sense that these guys just are not very consistent. Their kicker was their high scorer, and
I mean that says it all right there. I think that the team just didn't show up. The names are good, they just didn't show up, and his kicker being as high for the week, that says it all right there. I mean Flacco and Johnson, how can Calvin Johnson only put up 3 points?
Tough Bears defense, that's how, And, TNT wins his second straight game, but again, he scores less than 100 points, but he just, played the right guy at the right time, and there's going to be a theme throughout their show on guys that play the right guy at the right time or wrong guy at the wrong time. So I think
the big thing about it was it showed how kickers can really change everything in this league.
Yep.
It's something that we talked about. A lot of people said the kicker scoring needs to be reevaluated, and this game highlights that.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, the kicker scoring I don't think is big of a, thing when you address in the offseason as the defensive scoring.
Yeah.
But you're one of the few guys that actually responds to my emails when I actually ask people to vote. So I think that's really about it. I mean, TNT wins his second straight. I wouldn't get too excited TNT. I still think you're in the bottom tier of the league. And, throughout the season, when you start playing some better teams, you'll probably lose those games. Moving on.
A lot of good names on that bench that did nothing, though.
Yeah.
A lot of good names on the field that did nothing. So It was just fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. So the next game, this is definitely the toilet bowl game of the week. 73 to 69 or 77. Actually, I have the wrong score there. It should be 77-69. It doesn't matter, Ryan. You're still a lucky motherfucker. You scored 77 points. Last week you scored 73. I think actually this slide was from last week. So he scored 73 last week, 77 this week, Michael, and he wins both games. I mean, that's just playing the right people at the right time.
What does Zach always say?
I don't know.
Winners win.
He always
win.
He always comes up with these stupid sayings, but he's got too many stupid sayings for me to remember them all.
The prime timers are winning their division. They only scored 77, but they won.
Yeah, I mean, but I gave him some props a couple weeks ago because he beat me, and that just goes to show, like he beats me. He puts up 164, and these last 2 weeks he scored a combined 150 combined, right? So it's just
both Arkan Tigers and Playmakers had more points individually than this whole game did.
Yeah, exactly. And enough said about this game. The Eliminators disappointed me. I mean, they had some guys in the bye week like Matt Ryan, and that probably would be the difference. But I'm just not. I don't get it. I don't know what happened to. AJ Green has had 1 catch for 8 yards. Bryant last week, Green and Bryant went off. This week they didn't do shit. The Ravens defense didn't do shit, so it was just a bad week overall for the Eliminators. But it's good for you because he's in your division, and the last 2 teams we talked about, Crushers and Eliminators lost. You won, so that kind of helps you move up in the division a little bit. So
yeah, I'm at the point though, like you, that the division doesn't matter as much as the wild card.
Yeah, you're playing for the wild card, so you need basically everybody to lose to keep losing. I'm with you, even though I still think that I'm good enough to catch up to Zach. So we have a little inside bet going there. Any other observations on this game?
No, again, just good names not showing up, and that's what this league's all about, getting the players that are consistently there,
Yep.
Especially not being PPR. It's running back focused, I think.
Yep.
And you once in a while you have explosive wide receivers, but I think in the end it's going to be the quarterback, running backs that are going to win the game.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, we're moving on to your game, so since you're the guest in the show, we'll spend a few extra minutes here talking about this. So, you did not make any stupid roster moves this week or waive anybody or do anything stupid. And wow, look what happens. You kill TCB. So, I mean, you got to keep RG3 in there. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I mean, I'm a 2-5 team, but you trade for RG3. I was kind of making fun in the Week 6 show, which was kind of published.
I got spooked with the thought of injury, and I thought too much into it. Christian Ponder was on everybody's hailing list, so I thought it sounded right, but I was wrong.
Yeah, but tough break for you with MJD. As of Wednesday night, I don't know what the status. I think he's going to miss at least one game, maybe two. So it's a tough.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to still have the first waivers draft, so I got to pick up the handcuff, but it was just luck. And I'm not saying Jennings is going to beat Jones-Drew, but at least it didn't hurt me as bad as it could have.
Yeah, but you know what? As a backup, that guy's about as ready as anyone is because he actually played the entire preseason with the first team because MJD was holding out, right? So I think he's as ready as any backup out there. So I think it's a good pickup, and I think he's actually going to produce for you. So
like Ben Tate, maybe he could be a starting guy no matter what.
Yeah, no. But my big observation for this game is welcome to the 2012 season, Chris Johnson. I mean, finally, this guy does what a 4th overall pick in the draft was supposed to do. I mean, I think the first couple of games he had a combined 30 yards rushing in 3 games. I mean, it was a joke.
It was painful. But you saw that with Aaron Rodgers, same thing, like, welcome back.
Yeah, finally. And, I think you're going to go as far as he takes you, our first-round picks. And if Chris Johnson...
Unlike Griffin, who I did sit, I never sat Chris Johnson.
You stuck with him.
Me.
Yeah, you stuck with him, and your luck. If you would have benched him, he would have probably gone off, and you would have lost because of that. But the good thing, it never got to that because TCB laid an egg. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but TCB actually had his first official kickboxing fight. And God bless him. The guy's 39 years old, Michael. This is Zoli, the owner of TCB. And last Friday night, he got into a ring with a guy 15 years younger than him. And he never really did kickboxing in his life, did a little training here and there. I mean, he got TK'd, but it was his contact got scratched after a hit, and he couldn't continue. So the doctor stopped the fight. So his actually...
Post the video after this. That'll be good to see.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Zoli. Good job.
Yeah. Well, he lost, but still, I give him a lot of credit. The guy's got some balls.
No, just getting in the ring, just getting in fighting shape. I mean, I'm jealous. So
yeah. So cool. I'm going to try to obtain footage from that fight so I can post it on our site so you guys can see it. And his ring name is Kid Cleveland. So again, TCB, you got some balls, buddy. If I ever get in a bar fight, I want you on my side. Just don't, wear your contacts when we go out. But
but that was this the first week that Josh Gordon went off?
Yeah.
I mean, that was his highlight. That was the unexpected. I mean, everyone expected Frank Gore to do well and Cam Newton, but Gordon was his, looked great.
Yeah, well, he dropped the game-winning touchdown for the Browns, so he wasn't great, but he was good enough. But again, the rest of these guys did not show up. I mean, Cam Newton. It's halfway through the season almost for us, and I think I can officially say the guy's been a bust, especially for a 9th or 10th pick overall in the entire draft. I think he's been a bust. Sophomore jinx.
Yeah, the pad.
So, any other observations about your game before we move on?
No, it was just to put up 130 without MJD was, I think, indicative of what I expected from the team. I think it's a really strong team that has not showed up, and this week most of them did. So and forget the 40 points for Chris Johnson. If he was only 20, but MJD had 15 or 20, it would have been a very similar thing. So I was happy.
We're moving on to one of the very few times in our history we had a tie. But there is no ties really in our league because the actual tiebreaker for a tie is the bench scoring, and this is where the Bulldogs won that tiebreaker 17-3. If there was, this never happened in 7 years, but if there was a tie with your starters, a tie with your reserves, it would truly be a tie, and in the standings it would show as a tie. But we've never had that. We only had a few ties in our whole 7 years of existence. So, Bulldogs had everybody on a bye week except for one guy, but that one guy was enough to give him enough points to break the tiebreaker. So, interesting to see a tie,
And it shows that bench is not a zero. I mean, you need to think about that.
Yeah.
Not just in case someone gets hurt, but there can be ties.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, you got the Bears' defense, once again, is the reason why he wins. I think I need to look back at all 6 of his wins. I think that the Bears' defense was the difference in every single game. And once again, it was a difference in this game as well. So, 26
Yeah, and I'm not
points.
sure I got a problem with DST scoring as much as kickers, and everyone's got opinions, but it takes a lot of different things to win DST points. Whereas the kicker, if the offense is bad, they get a lot of 50-yard, 60-yard attempts, and if they can't put it in the end zone the way Aaron Rodgers does, then the kicker gets more attempts. So I think the DST scoring is good, and the Bears have been awesome, and having that team is maybe someone will pick them in the 4th round or something like that. If they're that good, just like quarterbacks in the 1st round, it changes things.
Yep, exactly. For Farmers Tan, this is the defending champ. After a 2-0 start, he loses his 5th straight game, and he's now tied for last place in the East Division. I think it's officially, we can officially say that there's no way he's going to repeat, and we will have a new champ in 2012.
Yeah, but I got a lot of respect for him changing his name back to Farmers Tan, because last year he was simply perfect, and it was great. And I kidded him a lot about the name because I'm not sure the character, the avatar, is too much to be looked up to by everybody, but he wore it well. And this year it's back to reality.
Yeah, he was humble about it, but he was only perfect the last 6 games of the season when it counted. He was 5-5.
That's when it counted.
Yeah, that's when it counted. So but
that's when it counted.
You're right. As soon as he lost that first game, he did text me and say, can you change my name back to the way it was? So, all right.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
We're moving on to the first of the 2 brother matchups. This is the Playmakers and the Serb Destroyers, and I break a 3-game losing streak to my older brother, Jake the Snake, 146 to 114. Just a solid performance all around for my team, with the exception of my tight end, but everybody else came and showed up. Serb Destroyers lose their 3rd straight game, and he was talking a lot of shit after going 3-1, and he was calling that he's going to play the Archon Tigers in the championship game. So I mean, if he keeps playing the way he's playing,
and he still might. You never know. Ray Rice has been very unimpressive the past couple of weeks, and that guy can light it up, and he hasn't. Yeah. So I don't know what the problem in Baltimore is, but if you want to see how it turns out, look at Ray Rice.
Yeah. Well, his thing is he can still win his division because he's in a bad division. A lot of guys are chasing the wild card, but he can actually win that bad division. He's 1 game out. So.
Yeah, but look at Eli Manning and Victor Cruz. That was the winning combination last year, and it right now, if you just look at those 2 guys, this is what winners look like right there. It's just the rest of the team that let them down.
Yeah. I mean, Cruz and Manning show up every week. It's the rest of the guys that are inconsistent. That's the problem. So
yeah.
But Playmakers win their 2nd straight after an 0-5 start. Rodgers is starting to play good. Nelson, of course, starting to play the way I expected him to play. This is the way I envisioned my team to start performing. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too excited. I still have a long way to go. I take it 1 game at a time. That's why I told all my players in the locker room after this game, it was an emotional win, beating your big brother. You always want to beat your big brother. And, I just told them, let's, focus now on the Frosty Paws next week. And that was it, pretty much my locker room speech.
How good is Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it doesn't matter who his receivers are, he makes it work.
I mean, the last 2 weeks, man, he's been like, like a video game. I mean, just like with precision. It seems he makes this look so easy.
That's why I'm so excited about Randall Cobb. I just think his upside. It doesn't matter who Aaron Rodgers has out there, and that's as opposed to Eli Manning that just puts it up there and the big strong receiver gets it. I think Aaron Rodgers actually makes the pass happen.
You're absolutely right. He's definitely an accurate passer. Moving on to the game of the week here, and again, we're going to end it with the game of the week. Again, 2 brothers. I'm not sure if you knew, but Frosty Paws and Archon Tigers are brothers. Zach's the older brother. In this matchup, the older brother got the better of the younger brother. But tough luck loser Andy here. I mean, he puts up I think this was like his highest scoring week of the season, and he happens to play a guy who scores the most points all week. And you look around, he would have beaten just about everyone else except for me, and he just happened to play the wrong guy at the wrong time. So that's just bad luck. But Frosty Paws is starting to play better. Ever since I called him out a few weeks ago, telling him to let his nuts hang a little bit and show some, have some balls, he's actually playing better. I think, maybe I motivated him. I don't know, Andy. If I did, you're welcome. But Archon Tigers rebound from that loss last week. So he's a perfect 6-0 when Drew Brees is playing. And, he lost the only game when Brees was on his bye week. So he's definitely happy to have him back. But, Archon Tigers are very solid. You got a big production from Brees. Martin had a nice game. Vincent Jackson had a
Mark almost won it. It was Monday night. We were waiting. When everyone was up, he still had a chance until the very end.
He did, but when Welker, Johnson, these guys didn't score any touchdowns, I was starting to get worried because it was a lot to ask of LaShore against the Bears defense to score. I think it was 15, 16 points against the Bears defense.
Yeah, but if it wasn't that fumble in the red zone, if it was a TD instead, scores, the game's different. So
you're right.
It was a Monday night. Yeah, everyone was up, so it was good.
You're right.
Exactly the way it's supposed to be.
He doesn't fumble that ball, and they give him another carry to go to the end zone. It's a touchdown, and he beats his brother.
And Frosty Paws wins. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It was just a great week for Archon Tigers. Even Josh Freeman goes off with 38 points on his bench. So very, very good week. Let's look at this.
And Freeman might turn out to be the best backup in the league.
Yeah, he's playing good. He's definitely playing good. I agree with you on that one. So let's look at the standings. We got the Archon Tigers in the East at 6-1, TNT 3-4, and the Farmers Tandem Playmakers are tied for third or tied for a last if you're a half full or half empty type guy. Central, everyone lost except for the Primetimers, so everyone's below 500. Primetimers jumped from pretty much last to first in 1 week. And again, not because he's playing great, he's just getting lucky. He's playing the right guys at the right time, scoring 73, 77 points. Your division, Bulldogs, of course, rebound after their first loss of the season. As we mentioned, Crushers and Eliminators lose. You get your second win. So now there's 3 guys at 2 and 5. Yeah. I'm no longer you and I the only 1 and 5 team. So we're moving up slowly, man. Let's look at the power rankings here. We got Archon Tigers who actually moved from second to first after a very nice win. Bulldogs drop a spot, which makes sense. They had a bad week, even though they won. Eliminators stay where they are. Serve Destroyers lose, but they move up because a lot of other guys dropped, and we'll see that in a second. Frosty Paws moved from the second page of my power rankings to the first page. Even though he lost, he started to play some good fantasy football, and the polls are showing that, and the voters are recognizing this is a better team, and it belongs in the top 6. The Crushers moved to number 6. I'm surprised they're still number 6 because the Crushers have not been playing very good. The biggest drop of the week was TCB from 4 to 7. And Playmakers move up from 8 to 9. Primetimers win and move down. This just shows how accurate this really is as far as each week, looking at who are the best teams, 1 through 12. You win, so you move up. You and TNT just basically flip-flop from last week. And the Farmers Tan is holding steady at that last 12th place. So, any comments on the power rankings?
Yeah, it's always confusing. Again, if you can go over it, is it a combination of points against?
No, it's points scored, your record, points scored, and your breakdown. So each week it looks at what your record is against every team. Even though you only play one team, what's your record against everybody else? So like this week, if you're the highest scoring team of the week, like Zach, he technically went 11-0 this week. So that breakdown record counts. I think you actually have a decent breakdown record because you've had a few weeks where you scored a lot of points. You just happen to play the wrong guy at the wrong time. So that's how that works. So
for a couple weeks, I was much higher in power rankings, even though I was scoring lots of points but losing.
Yeah, but you moved up this week.
Yeah.
Let's look at week 8 schedule, and you're welcome to chime in and give me your predictions here. Bulldogs and TNT. I am liking. Let me look at the matchups real quick before I actually make my pick. But I think I like TNT in this game because. Just give me a second. You can go ahead since I'm looking for my. All right. Whatever. I don't have any.
So we're talking about TNT?
Yeah, TNT and the Bulldogs. I think I like TNT. I can't get to the right spot here, but I think I like TNT. I think that the matchups favor him this week. I think he's going to win his 3rd straight game. All right, now I'm finally on the right page here. Yeah, I just think Tom Brady is going to have a good matchup against the Rams, and Wallace, McFadden, I think he's going to have a big game. So I just think that his matchups favor him. And Matt Stafford, there's something wrong with Matt Stafford. He's just not playing like the guy that had 5,000 passing yards last year. So who do you like?
I keep getting back, though, to the running backs. I mean, TNT's wide receivers are, I like the names. They're strong. Even though Demaryius Thomas is awesome, I think that the running backs are still what, and even Tony said that's where he feels most vulnerable.
Yep.
So even though the score here, the preview looks like he's got a big advantage, I think it's much more even.
Okay, so who do you like?
And Stafford's going to bounce back from a terrible game. I think he's a sleeper this week.
Okay, so who do you like? Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs pull it off because I think that Stafford snaps back big.
Okay.
I think Megatron has a couple receptions, TDs, and not that Mark has Megatron, but he's got Stafford, so that's the way I'm going.
Okay. Well, I take TNT in this game. I'm 11-1. The last 2 weeks, I'm 11-1, so I'm doing much better with my picks because I'm actually studying in the matchups and paying attention instead of just closing my eyes and picking games. So TNT, I like TNT. Frosty Paws and Playmakers. Of course, I'm never going to pick against myself, so I'm gonna take the Playmakers to beat the Frosty Paws, but it will not be easy. I will tell you that because Peyton Manning's playing the Saints defense, and these guys give up consistently like over 300 yards passing, long touchdown plays. So I'm worried about Peyton Manning this week. But then again, I got Rodgers going against Jacksonville, so hopefully the two will balance out. But I am worried about this game, but I like the Playmakers to beat Frosty Paws. What do you think?
I think that, excuse me, when you look at the week that Aaron Rodgers came off and Peyton Manning both, I think that Aaron Rodgers has it. So I think you got it.
Okay. You don't have to say that because I invited you to the show. You can be objective.
No, not at all. I think that I'm a Sean Green believer, too. I think that he's going to have a good week, and I really think Mikel LaSure, after dropping in the red zone, those guys are just spooked.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So, Eliminators and the Archon Tigers are next on my list here. I think Eliminators has a bounce-back game. Archon Tigers, after the draft, thought that Randy had the best draft. He's got a lot of guys in the bye week, but I'm just going against, conventional wisdom here. I think the Eliminators upset the Archon Tigers.
Do you believe that Matt Ryan's, he was off last week, right? He had a bye?
Yeah. Yeah, he would have won.
Back from a bye.
He would have won if Ryan was in there.
And Drew Brees had like a career game, and Matt Ryan's been on a bye, so I think it's easy to look at Eliminators as the upset.
I think Archon Tigers dropping Devery Henderson a few weeks back, which I thought was a mistake. Even though Lance Moore is back, there's plenty of Breeze passes to go around and touchdowns. I'm calling it right now where Devery Henderson is going to come back to haunt Archon Tigers this week. He's going to have a big game, and that will be the difference between Eliminators and Archon Tigers. So I'm just calling it out.
Yeah, every time he catches one, it's split, so that could haunt him.
Yep, exactly. Instead of double the points. Moving on. So who do you like? I'm sorry, I didn't get that pick.
I think Eliminators. I think the upset looks good. Matt Ryan's going to light it up.
Yeah, even though he has Foster and Jackson and Green, again, it doesn't make sense. He's got 3 of his best starters on the bench. I just think, I can just see them, shocking the Archon Tigers.
And it's not just that the league needs it. I think that Matt Ryan is going to have a great week coming off the bye.
Yeah. I mean, at least I'm hoping the Archon Tigers lose. I do every week. Next is the Farmers Tan and TCB, two guys that are heading in the wrong direction. And it's a tough game to pick, but I guess I'm going to go with Farmers Tan. He's lost 5 straight. He's not going to lose. I don't think he's going to lose 6, because I think TCB is actually worse than Farmers Tan. I predict he's going to win 4 games all year. He's got 3, so he's still on pace to get to 4. So I like Farmers Tan this week. What do you think?
I hate to keep agreeing with you, but I think that Tony Romo sucks so bad that he's got to wake up, and I think this is the week. I think there's a lot of shit going down in Dallas where people have to wake up.
Yeah, and I
think that Tony Romo is going to have an awesome week, and I'm still not a Cam Newton believer, so I think Bod's got it.
Yeah, and I just think that Cam Newton, against the Bears defense, just a tough matchup. I mean, I would put Andrew Luck in there. I would, at this point. There's the kid, there's something, he's in his head, he's not right. He's got no confidence.
Plus, I like that Brandon Marshall and Antonio Brown both have awesome quarterbacks thrown to them, and I think that that's where this league has been, and I think it stays that way. That even though I said before the running backs are the key for the big points, these receivers with the high quarterbacks can. That's the difference between the AJ Greens or the teams that don't have the quarterbacks that can throw 4 touchdowns in a game.
Yep.
That's the receivers you want.
Yeah, and I mean, I know this just now that he's got Benjarvis Green-Ellis still in his starting roster because he doesn't have another running back that's healthy. So, I don't know why he's not moving Murray to the IR. He's been injured. Move him to the IR, pick up another running back, and replace the law firm. Because obviously you got to make a move. You're not going to play with 8 guys. If he does, he's retarded. So.
Yeah.
But I still like him. Like I think he's going to figure it out and go ahead and make a move before Sunday. And next week we got Cleveland Crushers and Primetimers. I think this is the game that Cleveland Crushers comes back. The problem is he's got to figure out who his quarterback's going to be. As of right now, Flacco's on the bye. Kevin Cobb is hurt, so he's got to go out there and pick up a quarterback. But I think, he's got Julio Jones back, Jeremy Maclin back. He's going to readjust his roster. And I think the Primetimers come back down to earth as far as their record. They'll be 4-4 after this week because your odds it's going to catch up to you. You can't keep scoring under 80 and winning. It's just not going to happen. So I like Cleveland Crushers. And the last game is your game, the High Flyers and against my brother, Serve Destroyers. You guys gonna watch it together or what?
If we can make that work, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it would.
Maybe down at Brews Rooms, get some wings.
Yeah.
I actually have Zeki there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tell him I said hello. I haven't seen him since Labor Day. But I'm picking you as not really an upset special because I think you guys are both about even, but I'm picking you to beat the Serve Destroyers. Again, I just think there's something wrong with his team. I don't think Manning's going to have a big game against Dallas. I think the Dallas defense, this is the second time they're playing at Dallas. And, Ray Rice on the bye week, Spiller on the bye week, Torrey Smith on the bye week. I like you, not because you're my guest on the show. I'm taking the High Flyers to win their second straight and go 3-5. What's your observation?
I think my team looks really good. I mean, look over it. This could be a championship team, and look what's out there. Yeah. And if Eli Manning lights it up, I think I can still handle it. So I'm picking me.
Okay. Well, again, thanks for joining the show. That's all the time we have. Good luck to everyone this week, of course, except for the Frosty Paws. But
thank you for having me, Val. Pleasure.
Good luck having you as well. Peace out, brothers.
And I could have passed, but I got high. I'm taking it next semester.